What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another live show. If I'm live, let me check. Yeah, I'm live. So welcome back. Welcome back. A lot to talk about. A lot to discuss. Not kind of transfer, maybe a bit transfer related, but like not direct transfer news. But the Giuntoli presser, because he got officially presented today. I actually forgot about it. I was just randomly checking social media and I saw that it was up, and I watched the entire presser, and he had quite a lot to say. A lot of things we knew or were suggesting that were gonna happen or were not gonna happen this summer. He kind of confirmed a lot of things. He put a lot of things to bed. He made it very clear what the plan or what the plan should be. He made it very clear what the situation is and what he is, why he's here. Basically, he was very straight to the point. And like I said, lots to go through. But yeah, let's get into it straight immediately, because in a couple of minutes Di Macio's gonna speak. But based on the early leaks of the day, I will be surprised if there's any Juve related news. But yeah, first of all, like the video and subscribe to the channel. So I have a few quotes. Excuse me. I don't have all of them. I just filtered through, but I put a lot of text on it. So bear with me. I will start off with the first one, because he was asked about what do you think about the club basically when you were at Napoli, last season basically. What do you make of it, and did it change your view since a week or two he's at the club, and he said basically he didn't made up his mind before he joined. He didn't had a pre mindset. He didn't came in apparently with the mindset of I'm just making something up now. Allegri's not good enough. That player's not good enough. This is not good. He didn't really did that according to him. He said, "I waited to see certain things. What matters is what we will do from here on. From here on, excuse me. What the club has asked of me to return being competitive, sustainable, because that's how the world is now. We have to keep an eye on the finances, on the history of the club." Now, the word finance got used at least 20 times in the presser, at least, and that is something we knew, that we were very, we are in a very bad situation and the budget is limited. And Vlahovic might hate or dislike Allegri, and Chiesa might dislike Allegri, but they could have absolutely loved Allegri, and we still needed to sell. We need to make that really, really clear. It doesn't really has like it might make it more easy for a player to actually leave for a team, but we need money and we're gonna sell players. That's clear. He came in and he made it clear from the first or the second question he was asked, and that was this one. He made it very clear what the tone of the presser is gonna be. Is it good that he didn't make up his mind before he joined? Maybe, but I think he made his mind up really quickly. He will make his mind up really, really quickly. He also said something in the lines of, "We had a great season." I will go into that. You can tell. Like, I don't expect him to come on his first presser and say last season for Juve was terrible. The last two seasons, no improvement. I'm not expecting him to do that, but if he didn't made his mind up before he joined, then surely he made his mind up now. And deep down inside, he knows the last two seasons were shocking, and the world knows that. I would love if he hinted towards that, but that's never gonna happen, especially not at this club. Especially not at this club. But that's the first thing he said. Nothing spectacular, you might suggest, but like a warm up. He went into more depth further on, and he talked about what already has been done in the last couple of weeks, even before he joined, not just when he joined the last two weeks basically, but even before he joined, because we were told Manna's going to take over. We never knew Is it really gonna happen? Um, or is it just gonna be Manna and Giuntoli's gonna come? It's just coming in. Excuse me, next season. But he hyped it up. He hyped it up big time. He started off saying, "I want to make it clear that although I just have arrived, the club has already made extraordinary moves in June. It wasn't easy or obvious to secure Rabiot, one of the best in the world, a key player for France." Now, he went over the top there. He went like that's over the top. He's not one of the best in the world. Key player for France, you might say, because Deschamps plays him even at left back. So you might say he is a key player for France, if you believe it or not. But he plays every single time. Um, it wasn't easy and it wasn't obvious. I agree with that. I think we were like no. I think nobody can still 100% grasp as of why Rabiot stayed. Like, we need to know what happened, or I want to know what happened. Did he actually find no other club? Was there no offer whatsoever? Which I will absolutely not believe. That there was absolutely no offer. If you see which players are getting offers, and he was a free agent, so maybe it wasn't easy and obvious. It wasn't. It wasn't obvious. I will say that. Easy. I'm not sure. Apparently not. Yeah, like how do you convince a player to sign a 1 year deal when he's a free agent? That's indeed not easy. It's easy when you're 36. It's not easy when, what is Rabiot, 28, 27, something like that. But Allegri's saying, and yes, that's big for the club apparently. That's big for Allegri because they're backing Allegri to the moon and back, and you will see that in when I go over all the quotes. So it is key. It is big time for Allegri that you kept Rabiot for another season, apparently. But he praised Mana for getting that deal over the line, basically. Then he went on saying, "We also acquired Weah, a player with great potential and talent, and we exercised the option to buy Milik. A significant part of our transfer activity has already been completed." You got players in, and with players I mean numbers. You got 3 players in. Let's call it 3. Is it the quality we were expecting? Probably not. And I think that's the issue. But the Milik one, I'm not gonna praise. Like, the option was there. You said no. You wasted a week, and then you just paid the money. You just paid the same amount of money. On the same terms, basically. So I'm not gonna praise that. That was there. That deal was done. The option was there. Like, it's straightforward. The Weah thing came out of nowhere. Like, it came absolutely out of nowhere. There were little links. The entire last 3 to 4 months, but that kind of came out of nowhere. It was done really quickly, and he loves him. Giuntoli absolutely rates him. I'm not that high on him, but I will give him a shot. He fills a position, or he fills multiple positions, and that's why I think he's saying that a big part of the activity, incoming transfers, has already been done. Because if I ask you where is Weah gonna play, you can name 3 positions, and he could play in all 3 of them, maybe. So that's something you might say is good, because it's one player, he can play in multiple positions. I'm gonna argue that those type of players are probably not as good as they should be, because you need to pinpoint down one position, in my opinion. But whatever. He said we have a large squad, which is a fact, and it's essential for us to streamline it. Our priorities are clear: bringing clarity, setting a direction, and streamlining the squad. As for the future, having the advantage of young players is important, but we must strike a balance between sustainability and competitiveness. And that's achieved through talent, youth, experience. We need to blend these elements together. Yeah, we have a big squad. We need to trim it, especially if you don't play the Conference League. And he touched on that already. Also later on, we need to trim the squad, not because of the deadwood, but just number-wise. The talent is there. I agree. I'm gonna shoehorn Gatti in that conversation, which I actually shouldn't. He's 25 or 24. Um, but you have players like Fagioli, Miretti, uh, maybe De Winter. Who knows? I will talk about him later on as well. You have Rovella coming back. They still view Keane as a very young talent, although he's been like age-wise, but he's been in and around the club already. Experienced players, Danilo. If you want to call Sandro an experience, yeah, he has experience. Is a good one, probably not. Um, but it's a good mix, like age-wise and all those things. The issue is like quality. Like the quality in certain positions is extremely low, and I think that's the issue. Like he mentioned balance. He's hinting towards a balance in age. I think you need to have a balance in quality as well. Like you cannot have one department that's actually good with youngsters and with experienced players, and then one department that's just on his knees. That backline is terrible, and I will talk about it as well because he talked about it. That backline is bad. So the balance in terms of age and experienced players, good, but also in quality in certain positions. And right back, left back, we know how that situation is, and even center back at this moment in time is a big question mark. But he's hinting towards find a balance between certain agents and uh, money, fees, uh, wages, all those things. That's the balance he's talking about. But I think that was again a very straightforward quote. That's what we were expecting. That's what we have been talking about the entire summer, basically, or like the part of the summer. Now the big thing is, and I talked about it on my daily. Go check that out later on. McKennie, he's back in training and he will travel with the squad. The club is still hoping to sell him. They're still looking to sell him on, but apparently Pogba's not fit to play, so they're bringing in McKennie, which I don't understand. Just play others. If McKennie is gone, then it's pointless. Like I've said so many times, just don't take McKennie. Just leave him at home. But he's back with the squad. Very strange, you would suggest. But Giuntoli said he never was excluded. He said that's coming from you. He said we never said that. Then he also added there are players who are working separately, on the transfer market as well, um, while others are just part of the project. He said we're in talks for Zakaria with a couple of clubs, which is interesting because we only got to hear about West Ham, which has been silent, completely gone for the last couple of days. He says also for Arthur and for Bonucci, said we're discussing options with other clubs, but we haven't found anything that suits his preference yet. That kind of took me by surprise because I thought they were just gonna release him, and apparently we're not really looking to do that. We're actually trying to get a transfer fee for him or something like that. So the big news is. Excuse me. The big news is that he confirmed that Bonucci is gone. He's not part of it, and they're trying to find a solution, find another club for him. I think that's big because now we actually hear it from him, or like from somebody from the club directly that his time is up at the club. It's gone. He added because he was asked now. Okay, Bonucci is gone. What about the center backs now? Are you gonna do something? And he said, you know what? And he named all the defenders, and he said that might actually the players we have now minus Bonucci, and he added the Winter in that list. He said that might even be too much. We might even sell somebody else, which is good if you bring somebody in. Like if you sell Sandro or Rugani or whatever, and you bring somebody in, good. But like you cannot just sell for the sake of selling. You also need to replace because we need quality in that squad. But the Bonucci thing is big. It's big news in my opinion. Let me see some of the comments. Why are all Italians club in a bad financial state? Milan, because there's no money and they're struggling to even sell the TV rights for the upcoming years, which is sad, but it's a reality. The part where he says Allegri will keep improving the team made me cry and laugh because in 2 years we got worse. Yeah, and I will touch on that later on. It's they're backing him. If you believe it or not, I think it's because of financial reasons. I don't think he actually believes in what Allegri is doing, but it is what it is. That's actually weird to think that he's actually, and I'll put up his quote soon. It's actually weird to think that actually people believe that the last 2 seasons have been good, or the last 2 seasons have been positive, which they don't. Excuse me, they haven't. They have not been positive. Absolutely not. Before I move on, really quickly, if you want to join the members club, because a lot of people are joining. If you have joined, thanks for supporting the channel. It's a small contribution, so we can improve. Uh, if you join, reach out to me and I will add you to the exclusive members chat prediction league, and you get cool stuff, and you can also win stuff. Like it's not money wasted. You can win certain stuff. Even during the season, we do giveaways, so consider doing that. And if you have, reach out. I will add you into the Discord private sector section of the Discord. Let's move on. This is a lot I've put there, and I'm actually mad that I didn't put on my glasses. Okay, so this is the big one, basically. This was actually what kind of dominated the entire presser and post-presser, most likely, because it's the big questions. Those were the big questions. He was asked about Lukaku, and I kind of mixed it in all. Lukaku, Chiesa, Vlahovic, name it. He was asked about these things, signing players, whatever. That's what he was asked about. And he came with a very clear statement, which we, or me personally, kind of predicted or was thinking that was the case. And he confirmed basically every single thing out there. He said we need to return to sustainable market, one that's also competitive, a mix of young talents and experience. Manna and I are exploring the market, speaking with several clubs to gather information, and then the newspapers spin their tales. That was regarding Lukaku, because he was asked about, like, is Lukaku close? Are you in for Lukaku? All those things. And he basically said, we talk with a lot of clubs, and the media just creates a big buzz out of it, which I'm gonna say for 80% of the time it's a fact, but when it comes from so many sources, even English sources, that you are talking with Lukaku, then you cannot spin it. Like it is what it is. Like you cannot deny it. If it's only Monblano, who actually has been really quiet, I've not seen any quotes from him. If it's only Monblano, if it's only Giovanni Obanese pushing a certain name, then you can say, yeah, that's a media spin. But if it's Di Marzio, Romano, and name it, David Ornstein, all these guys, like top guys, talking about Lukaku, you cannot hide it, But he's not gonna come out and say, yeah, we're talking with Lukaku. He's not gonna do that in his first ever presser. He kind of dodged the question a little bit, but he kind of also hinted that, yeah, there have been talks, basically. Then he went on saying, we're strongly focusing on Chiesa, Vlahovic, and Keane, and Milik. It's not a secret. We need to tidy up our finances, and we have a strong emphasis on Milik. We can consider interesting offers, or like offers you cannot refuse, basically. However, from a tactical standpoint, we have a strong focus on these guys. We believe we have a competitive team and highly competitive pool of attackers. I won't say anything more. We have just begun the market, and Giovanni and I are in the initial phase of gathering information on everything. That's what he said, and then he followed up saying the incoming market is done. Now we need to streamline the squad as we ensure how many competitions we'll play in, because we still don't know if we are going to play the Conference League, basically. We're focusing on sales. We're thinking about nothing else, at this moment in time. And they need to find the balance. And for balance, you need to sell players. He also said it. Now we're focusing on them. If offers come in, we will look at them. He basically said it's selling time now. Now we need to sell, and that's what I've been saying so many times. Coming on every Sunday, I ended the video. Maybe we will sell somebody, because we need to sell to spend. I think that's extremely obvious now. If that wasn't the case, we were pushing for Kessie, and we were bringing in Lukaku already. Just name it. We're not doing that because we need to sell players. He said it, like we have said it on the channel so many times. The players, they might not really want to leave, and especially not Vlahovic, but we need to sell. And as of now, no offers have come in, so they're staying. That means you're not bringing in somebody else. You need to, make your bet with that. You need to find peace with that. There's coming left back, midfielder, right winger, right back. Nobody's coming in if nobody's leaving. And that's what he said, If an offer comes in, everybody is for sale. Which I do agree on. Every player is for sale, but you don't need to sell every player. I think that's the only debate point for me, You can sell Vlahovic. I want to keep him, but if I know the situation we're in and you need to sell Vlahovic, but if you sell Vlahovic and Chiesa and I'm pushing it now, and Bremer and whatever, then we have an issue, Then I believe we have an issue because that's too much in one window. But he made it very clear. If an offer comes in, players are gone. If a good offer comes in. If they offer 50 mil for Vlahovic, that's probably not going to happen. If a good offers come in, and if somebody offers 100 million euros for Chiesa, I will be sitting here and I will not say do not sell because that's ridiculous money. Like, I'm not an idiot, But if somebody offers 35 for Chiesa, I will be coming on, or 40, I will say that's random. You can get a lot more money from it. And that's basically what he's saying. If an offer comes in from Vlahovic for 80 mil, he's gone. If an offer comes in for Vlahovic for 55, you would think he's not gone because that's bad. That's bad business. But that's basically the situation. We knew about it. We've talked about it for weeks now on this channel, and he confirmed every single thing. Mirko Di Natale made a very interesting, put out something very interesting thing, which suggests to me that we're going to push a 3-5-2. He said Morata is still a possibility only if Chiesa leaves. But at this moment in time, Inter are leading the race, which means if that's the case, this is going to be a 3-5-2. And like I said, it's going to be the worst 3-5-2 you will ever see in your life because technically it will look terrible. There's no technique in that. In that team. So let's hope Inter get that deal over the line because I don't care if he plays for Inter. I don't care if Morata plays for Inter. Like, it's not that deep. I see a lot of people going mad about it. I actually couldn't care less if he joins for Inter. Like, I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. So hopefully Inter get that over the line because that's the worst idea. Like, imagine selling Chiesa and replacing him Morata, and having Morata, Milik, and Keane up top. I want to go back to the Vucinic Matri days then. Let me see. Let me see if something else came out. Okay, sorry, excuse me. And Jan right, please like the video. Let's move on. Let's move on to a next quote, which he discussed. I'm sorry, I'm just checking if anything news is. And Nico Shira tweeted out, also on Morata, that we are just at the window. His release clause is 21. And his salary is 6.5 for the following season and 5.5 for the next season at Atletico. Inter have offered 12 plus 3 and 5 million a season. Roma have offered him 4.5. I will cry if we sign Morata. I want. I will absolutely cry if we sell Chiesa and Vlahovic and we end up with Morata and Lukaku. Like that's the downgrade is insane. You know, I've seen Morata at this club. I don't want to see him. I actually don't want to see him play anymore because it's terrible. It's a terrible watch. It is what it is. You know. And if you give me the option, if it's him or Lukaku, I'll pick Lukaku because he's a better player. Like I've seen Morata stinking it out week in week out. That's why we got Vlahovic. But enough of that, you know, because I think it's gonna be Inter. It should be Inter. It should absolutely not be us. It should not be us at all. Let me see if Di Marcio said something. Otherwise, I'm just gonna push on. No. Okay. Now he was asked about the vision of the club, long term, short term, whatever you want to call it. He said, "For me, it should be a process. We need to regain competitiveness. In the long run, it will bring us benefits. We will be able to build a team for great satisfaction and keep it together for several years. Initially, it might pose obstacles, but eventually it will become a significant advantage." Then he was asked sacrifices. He said, "I'm not sure. We need to remain calm and clear-headed, streamline the squad to provide the coach with the best conditions to succeed. We still don't know if we will participate in the Conference League, so let's wait a moment." What I put out or get out of that quote, whatever, the key thing is that we need to build a team and we need to keep it together for several years. Several years. That's absolutely key. And that's what's not happening now. And that's what will not happen if you don't sort it out. Because the book things, it sounds good, but it's a never-ending story. Get the licked out, bring Bremer in, so on the books it will look better. Get Vlahovic out, get Lukaku in, because on the books it will make a lot of sense. We're not gonna cut it. If you're gonna change key players in key positions every single summer, you're going absolutely nowhere, because our success in the past was based on stability. That backline was what it was. That midfield was what it was. That front line was what it was. And every summer, if somebody left, we replaced them like we should have replaced them. You know, we lose players and we bring quality players in. We try to do that, and that's how you improve. One player, maybe, but not every single summer. And that's absolutely, excuse me, that's absolutely not happening at this moment in time. You know, we are all over the place. It's freestyling, and it's like De Ligt in, Bremer out, Vlahovic in, Vlahovic out. You know, we're going absolutely nowhere. You know, so that I did like what he said, and I hope he can make it come through. That we're gonna have stability. That also means not change every single week from lineup, from personnel, because that is part of stability. We need to build a starting 11, and you can change a player here and there every single week, but we need to have one starting 11, a way to play, and then you can build your team, and then you can say next summer that guy is not good enough, we need to replace him. That's how you build a team, and that's what we have not been doing for the last couple of years. I'm gonna say 3 to 4 years at least. Like, it's been all over the place. It's not making sense, and that's why I'm sitting here, or we are sitting here, and we have no idea what formation we're gonna play. I believe 3-5-2. If you go up by the links, if you believe this Chiesa Morata in link, then it's gonna be a 3-5-2. But it's not gonna be good, you know. But the players we have, technical ability, it's very low, extremely low. But let's see. On Sunday, for me on Sunday, for a lot of people on Saturday, we will play our first game. Maybe we will get something out of it. We will be live for a watch long, by the way. But as of now, that was something I absolutely love that he said, you know, that we need to build a team and we need to keep it together for a couple of years. That's so important especially if you have youngsters in that team as well, because there needs to be some sort of stability for these players. Otherwise, it's just a never-ending roller coaster, basically. But let's move on. Let's move on to the following quote, and I have no idea what it is about. Oh yeah, I get it. He was asked about Allegri and the transfer market as well, and if he speaks with Allegri and all those things. And he said something that was an absolute lie. People are losing their minds because the quote got kind of cut in one sentence saying Allegri didn't ask for players, and that got a lot of clicks and a lot of likes. Does anyone actually believe that Allegri asked for players? He did ask for players. He absolutely did, 100%. You're not gonna convince me that he didn't do. He did, and we know that. We know that for a fact. That's what he does. That's what every coach does. There's not a single coach on this planet who will not ask for players, because then you're not doing your job. It's as simple as that. Let me read the quote. First of all, thanks. Kaloyan? Kaloyan, thanks for joining. Really appreciate it. Reach out to me on Twitter, on the main account, personal account, or click the Discord link and text me on Discord, and I will add you to the Discord members chat, prediction league, wallpapers, giveaways, all those things. Thanks, really appreciate that. He said, I speak to Allegri every day, and he hasn't made any requests. He's pleased with the team. He believes that Pep, with the young players initiated by Cherubini and continued by Manna, should be followed. Allegri's already given debuts to 5 to 6 players. Then he said, honestly, he hasn't asked me for anything. He believes there's room for improvement in the team, and that has been an initial approach. I haven't asked him anything yet. I need to understand and observe, but we have daily discussions. Every decision will be shared with all the executives. We speak every day, and any news or actions and results will be anonymous agreed on. Now, that's the biggest lie ever. Allegri didn't ask for players. Allegri is happy with the squad. He said that squad is not good enough 2 months ago. Like, he came post Milan or post Udinese and he said, if I want to win, I was going somewhere else. I knew this team had a lot of work. I know this team is not good enough to win. And you're telling me he didn't ask for players. You're telling me he believes this is good enough. You tell me he wants a team, 50% of the team or the starting 11 filled with youngsters. You can tell that, and you can maybe sell that to people who are actually blind, who actually will agree with everything the club does. And there are a lot of fans out there. You're not going to sell me that. That's an absolute lie, because we know from Allegri's own mouth that he didn't like the players, certain players. He doesn't really like the squad he has. So you can come out with it because it sounds good, or like it doesn't sound good, but like it doesn't sound as bad for the outside world as of saying he asked for 4 players because, man, we're terrible. He's not doing that, but Allegri admitted that he wants different players, and that this team is not good enough. So he's not going to say a couple of months ago this team is not good enough to win, and then now he's going to say, well, I'm losing Vlahovic, I lost Di Maria. Actually, we're better. I don't need anyone. Well, that's a big lie. That's the biggest lie Giuntoli told, and he's been here 2 weeks. So he asked for players. Are there good players? We can discuss that. We can talk. Yeah, Sunny, that's also right. Like he said, we have daily discussions, but we didn't really talk about the Mercato. Still, we need to understand what he wants. It's mid-July. Like, the season starts in 1 month. Like, I was shocked that nobody in that presser room said, hold up, it's mid-July. Like, you're not going to sell me that. Like, what has actually happened? But that's Italian media. They ask a question, and then it's gone. The question is, like, they answer it, and nobody has any follow-up questions. So that's why pressers are kind of boring, especially last season. They were so standard because nobody actually argued with Allegri, and then just let him talk. Then he was asked about Allegri and the season we had in a whole. last season, which was terrible. Points deduction or no points deduction. The Champions League campaign, even before the points deduction, even the season before that, it was poor. So I don't want to hear the point deductions. But he said last year was extraordinarily challenging. Having someone of his level, and he's talking about Allegri, his caliber, was ideal. They finished third, and let's not forget that Juve had an important season and a significant journey. We believe that Allegri can continue this path with great quality. We think that to achieve great results, talent, mentality, and discipline are required. We're certain that it is the most talented of all, absolutely certain. You're not going to convince me. You're absolutely not going to convince me. And what important season did we have last season? You're not telling me that Giuntoli, and again, I'm not saying he needs to come on and say, well, last season was terrible, shocking. I'm not saying that. But you're not going to sell me that. Like, he comes from a Napoli team that won the Scudetto. He's not coming on. He's not viewing last season and coming on and saying that was an important season. It wasn't. Even if you finished third without the points deduction, it was terrible. We lost double-digit games in Serie A. We lost to Maccabi Haifa. We got our asses whooped by Benfica. We lost against Sevilla. That's not a good season. That's a terrible season. That's not an important season. If all these things happen, but Chiesa still had a good season, Vlahovic had a good season, I was like, you know what? It's one of those seasons, strange, but individually players were well. They were good. Everybody declined, even his own players. Like Bonucci, okay, injury, but even when he played, terrible. Quadrado got worse compared to last season. Like his guy, Sandro, worse. Like his players, Locatelli, I don't rate him after this season, and it's not all his fault, but like he didn't look good at all. So to say that it was an important season is not even overstating, it's lying, because we didn't have had an important season. We had a terrible season that we are gonna remember for a very, very long time. So you can say that. I will not believe him, by the way. I will not believe him for 1 minute. Let me see the comments. Excuse me. Only way able to keep together a winning team for years is we bring in young talent. Yeah, but you also need to develop them as well. That's key. I believe Allegri's gone. Nothing will change. I still believe he will not be here next season then, because I don't see him doing much better compared to last season with the lesser amount of quality. It's just the common team is him low. We even got players to suit his style and play got worse. In fact, he got his players and we got worse. Props to Giuntoli, managed to say it all and kept a straight face. Yeah, I mean, I was listening to it. I was not watching, so I couldn't read facial expressions because I was at work. I was just listening to it, and the moment he said all these things, I started smiling because I was like, "You're not fooling me." If I was in the presser, I would have laughed, because you're not fooling me. You're fooling absolutely nobody. Maybe a small part of the fan base you will fool, but other than that, it was pretty obvious that we had a terrible season, wasn't? It was. So yeah, that was that. Good laugh. Final quote I have. He said more things, obviously, but I picked up the things I thought were interesting. The big question: how or when are we gonna return to winning ways? And he said, "I understand what Juve is, and that everybody wants to win immediately, which is fair. But we need to restart now and be patient. When the mechanism is set in motion, everything becomes easier. We need to remain calm, streamline the squad again, and support the coach and staff to perform better. To give their all, great results can be achieved. This will need time, but I still believe the team is good enough to do better than what we did last season. I will stand by that. And do I believe Allegri will be the guy to have a better season? No. Like, I cannot say yes when I said certain things last season and the team got even worse now and will probably get worse. I cannot say yes, he is that guy. Like, because lying, because I've said the complete opposite not even 2 3 months ago. So I don't see it happening. I will be absolutely stunned if we will have a better season than the previous one. I will be absolutely stunned because he got Di Maria, he got Paredes, he had Chiesa and Vlahovic. I don't know if he's gonna have them still, but according to rumors, it's not looking good. And he did that type of a job. Now imagine that with players he maybe doesn't really want, but needs to use, and less amount of quality. Now we need to do better. I just don't see it happening. I just absolutely do not see it happening. But patience is needed. I know everybody wants to win immediately, me as well, but I'm realistic enough to say that's not gonna happen, or like that should not not should, because you can still win a Coppa Italia with this squad. Let's be honest. Um, but the chances of us winning immediately are very low if we are being absolutely completely honest with ourselves. If you just go off last season. That was all he had to say. Let me see if any news came out. No, no news. As expected, because it was a very quiet day for us, and it will be unless somebody starts moving. And that's not Arthur, because that's not gonna bring in money. Zakaria, Mekandi, these players need to leave before anything can really happen. But the main thing is, or the biggest one is, obviously Vlahovic or Chiesa or a Bremer. Who knows? But other than that, nothing is gonna happen. The only thing we will talk about is this and preseason, because we play on Sunday for me, Saturday for a lot of people. We will be live on this channel, and yeah, like what I want to see about that game is nothing. Like, I don't really care about the result about that game. I just want to see maybe Rovella play, like these type of things. Hopefully a formation, even when we switch squads completely at halftime, a certain formation, so I at least know what we're gonna do. Arthur renewal done. Apparently, it's kind of done. It's to spread the costs on the book. So he's very close to joining Fiorentina on loan, and we will probably pay 50% or even more of his wages. So that's gonna happen. How do I become a member? Would maybe like to join the prediction league this year. Underneath this video, you can see the members button basically, or you can go into the description. It's also added into the description. So one of the two, you can or should be a member. Join the members club button. If there's not, then I'm not sure. I added in the description. Join the members club. So you can click that link. If you join, keep in mind, text me also to the new member, Kaloyan. Text me on Twitter. Send me a text, and I will add you into the members thing where you can get all the cool perks. But yeah, nothing else to really talk about, because there's no real news. Pedula said we would be in talks with Home today. Nothing came out from that. The Arthur thing was kind of the biggest story of the day. Lukaku, according to David Ornstein, Saudi Arabia, the Saudi team, I think it's Al Hilal, I'm not sure if it was Al Hilal, they want him. They are offering more money to Chelsea and obviously more money to Lukaku, but he's given his priority to us. But if there's no offer for Vlahovic, how long is Lukaku gonna wait? I hope he's not gonna wait at all, and he's gonna accept the Saudi bid. But as of now, that's what it is. We're waiting on PSG basically, because that's a team that's actually in. Maybe Bayern Munich, because I don't think Kane is gonna leave, but pray for our own sake that it's not Bayern Munich that's coming in for Vlahovic, because we will absolutely get fleeced. Like, they are offering the money we want for Vlahovic for Harry Kane. So if they are offering 80 mil for Harry Kane, they're gonna offer 55 plus 5 for Vlahovic. And knowing the club's past, that's not a good thing. It's absolutely not a good thing. So that's that. Uh, really quickly on the Morata news, because that's kind of the news of the evening. Let me know in the comments, will you want Morata back? And keep in mind, Mirko Di Natale said Chiesa out, Morata in, which kind of confirms it's going to be a 3-5-2 then. But that means your front line will be Chiesa, damn it, will be Milik, Keane, Morata, and like just picture them up top, and like you cannot go any sadder than that. I think people forget who Morata is and what he's capable of not doing or doing when it comes to absolutely stinking it out for his mentality. Not his mentality, like mentally, he is soft. He's weak. I think he's 28, but when things are going bad, it feels like he's 19. You know, he will never mature in that regard, and he will never be that guy. Also, he's on 5.5 million euros. That's what Inter are offering. 5.5 million euros for Alvaro Morata. That's the biggest scam in history. You know, that's I don't know how his agent keeps doing it, but well done to that guy, because that's a legend. You know, that's a legend. Not like Cuadrado and Morata. His agent is an absolute legend because he gets him moves, he gets him a lot of money, and nobody can explain why. Nobody, like, if I ask you why are people paying 5.5 million euros to Morata for a season, nobody can give me a good explanation. Like, absolutely nobody. But it's actually happening. It's happening, and it's sad. Um, yeah, no other things. Um, the problem is that Allegri probably thinks Morata Lukaku is better for him. Yeah, yeah, you can be right. You know, and that's probably it. You know, if you're linked with these type of players, because nobody else thinks that. You know, but that's the moment where I think Giuntoli needs to come in and be like, we're not doing this. You know, we can sell Chiesa, but I'm not bringing in Morata when he's 28 on 5.5 million and a Lukaku when he's 30 on 8.5. Like, that's the job of a sporting director, to say that's not what we're gonna do. But I have a list of other options. You can choose any of those, and I will go for them. But I'm not gonna do that. That's what I'm expecting from Giuntoli, or actually any sporting director. You know, any capable human being. You know, in this situation, because it makes no sense. But that's the news. What's out there. So you need to report it. You need to talk about it. Obviously, because it's not going away. It's not going away easily. But he's very close to Inter, apparently. You know, they talk. They were very optimistic. There are no offers for Chiesa, so hopefully Inter close that deal really quickly. I don't really care if he plays. Like, not really. I absolutely do not care if he plays for Inter. Like, seeing him in an Inter jersey, I couldn't care less. I'm being completely. I will be completely honest. I could not care any. I could not care for one bit, because it is what it is. Like, his journey at the club has been what it is. I'm gonna wrap this one up because I will be live back on Wednesday. Is it no? It's tomorrow. So Wednesday I will be live on Thursday. I will be live on Friday. I will not be live on Sunday because I will be live for the watch along, which is a Saturday, excuse me, which is Saturday Sunday for me. So I'll be live entire week. Hopefully something to talk about, because this is getting a bit boring now. But we're gonna talk about preseasons. Obviously, I don't know which day we're gonna leave. It was rumored to be Thursday. I hope it's earlier. I hope it's tomorrow, because if it's Thursday, we arrive on Friday, and we basically play the day after. You know, traveling, injuries. I absolutely hate that. Just for 2 million euros you're gonna get. But we will talk about preseason and the things I want to see, or you guys want to see. If you want to come onto the channel and talk, to keep it clean and controlled, consider joining the members club and the prediction league, which is in the members club. And you can come onto the channel, talk. Members will be back live maybe Thursday. I'm looking to plan that on Thursday. Let's see which members want to come on and talk about Lukaku, because I didn't bring any members up to talk about Lukaku. So I'll do that on Thursday. So stay tuned for that. And other than that, I have nothing to add. Like the video. Thanks everyone for joining. I will be back tomorrow, same hour. Ciao.